What is Torah? For the longest time, I thought, as many Christians do, that Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. But as I was reading through the book of Proverbs, I discovered that what I knew about Torah all these years was wrong all along. And I want to share with you today, in this video, what I learned from that book of Proverbs passage. How's it going, everyone? My name is Eldar, and if you're interested in growing together in your relationship with Jesus and learning what it means to walk as He walked, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell for more videos like this one. Let's get started. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 1 and 2 says this: "Hear, O sons, a father's instruction, and be attentive, so that you gain insight, for I give you good precepts. Do not forsake my teaching." For those who might not know, the book of Proverbs is a collection of wise sayings and advice from a father to his children. The father is speaking from both a position of authority and love toward his children, and he has something important to say. That is why he tells them, "Hear me out. Listen to me." Are you listening? Are you paying attention? What is so important that he wants to say to them? He says there is something that he wants to give them. This verse says that he gives them good precepts. And if you look that word up in the Hebrew, we learn that good precepts actually is good doctrine. So what the father wants to give to his children is a good doctrine. Doctrine is a set of beliefs we have about God, self, others, and the world around us. What kind of legacy would you like to leave your children? Oftentimes, when we think about our kids and our grandkids and their future and the type of legacy that we want to leave them, we want them to have a financially secure future. But the father in this Proverbs passage is thinking of leaving them something that goes beyond just financial security. He wants his children to have a good doctrine, a good and true and tested way of thinking about God, self, others, and the world around them. What is that good doctrine? The father continues speaking and tells his kids that his good doctrine is his teaching. And if you look up that word teaching in this verse of the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 2, you'll notice the word Torah. In other words, the father is telling his children, I give you a good doctrine. This good doctrine is my Torah. Please don't forsake it. As we read this passage in Proverbs, it's very hard not to miss the parallel between the relationship between the father and his children, and between God the Father and us as we are his children. For example, just like the father in Proverbs, God the Father, he gave us his Torah, his instructions, his good doctrine for us to follow and live by as his children. But his good gift comes with a stark warning. Do not forsake his Torah. So what is Torah? Torah is the father's instructions passed on to his children. And if you're a parent, for example, if you're a parent or going to be a parent in the future, all the good things, all the good values and principles that you want to pass on to your children, that is your Torah for them. The same thing with God the Father. He has his good doctrine, his Torah, his good instructions that he is passing on to us as his children to live by, to follow, as Jesus followed and obeyed. Have you forsaken his Torah? Do you go to church that has forsaken God's Torah? God the Father wouldn't have to warn us not to forsake His good doctrine if we did not have the tendency to neglect it, to forsake it and disregard it. There are many Christian doctrines that we might be familiar with today, such as the doctrine of God, the doctrine of sin, and the doctrine regarding the end times, and many more doctrines. But the doctrine, God's good doctrine, His Torah, has been neglected the most by many Christians. Unfortunately, most Christians have forsaken God's good doctrine, His Torah, for many years now, but it's not too late to change that. Thank you everyone for watching. If you learned anything new, please like this video, consider subscribing, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below in the comment section. I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you next time. You are loved.